Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, and with me, like always, is the man who is premiering exclusively on Wednesdays now, Noah Bailey. So yeah, after the massive success of Loki so far, Loki episode 1 was the highest first day opening premiere of any Disney Plus show up to this point, and it had the highest first week premiere of any Disney Plus show so far. You wouldn't know because you've been seeing it yet, but it's fine.
I'm sorry. In my defense, I just started working a lot, so I've been busy.
Okay.
But I will be on it soon.
But yeah, it is very good so far. I won't get into any spoilers, but yes, it is very good so far. So kind of after that massive success, Disney decided that all future Disney Plus exclusive shows will premiere on Wednesdays. What do you?
All of them?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so Bad Batch is apparently going to be is the last one to premiere on Friday.
Why do you think they're doing that?
I think one, like I said, because of the success of Loki. Two, I think they're still going to keep it where any exclusive movies or like premiere stuff on Disney Plus is going to be on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the main reason why they did Loki being Wednesdays in the first place, because the last episode of Loki and Black Widow premiering were going to be on the same day.
Oh, okay.
So they decided to, or I think regardless, one episode of Loki and Black Widow were going to be on the same day. So they decided we're just gonna move Loki around just to not have two big Marvel things on the same day.
Right. Not compete with themselves, obviously. Smart.
Yeah. Plus, with movies being more of an option, they don't want people. They I think at this point they prefer if people are out and about, going out to watch a movie over the weekend as opposed to sitting at home watching Loki or whatever next Marvel Disney Star Wars thing is up next. This will potentially, I'm not sure what they're going to do, like for example in the future, if they do happen to run like they are right now with Bad Batch and Loki at the same time. I wonder if in the future that's going to be an option, or are they just going to release both on Wednesday? Or generally, what are your thoughts about it being on Wednesday?
I get why they're doing it, but yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, what if they have two different things at the same time? Because like I feel like that would very much limit their output. Because it's like if Wednesdays are only day, then like, because because Bad Batch and Loki are obviously in very different areas as far as like one's Star Wars, one's Marvel, so it's like. You don't need they don't really compete in the same way.
There's a lot of overlap within the fandoms, but the shows themselves aren't competing.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think it's good that it has its own days, kind of. But I feel like if you I feel like you could have that going concurrently and there would be no problems with it. But I feel like if you like Wednesday or only show day, then you have this problem because if you have a longer show like Bad Batch with 16 episodes. That's 16 Wednesdays potentially that you can't just squeeze in another show that could be running a 6 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever, that we wouldn't even have. So it's like, I think this is something, I hear them saying this, but I don't know if I necessarily believe this, because it just doesn't seem like a good idea if they to force yourself on only one day.
So I have two major thoughts. First, I think up until this point, Friday being the main day for premiering stuff has been fine because they've only it's only become recently that they've had a huge slew of shows all at the same time. Like up until very recently they only had one show a quarter, really. Like really after The Mandalorian, there really wasn't any like major property outside of the High School Musical show, which
forgot about that.
Between Mandalorian seasons and now, you're
that is right. Yeah,
a cycle of like stuff happening every week. So I think there's a chance that once a whole bunch of Star Wars and a whole bunch of Pixar and a whole bunch of Disney, a whole bunch of Marvel stuff all start kind of lining up on the same, like in the same weeks, I think they might kind of go back on this and just be like, okay, Marvel stuff will be Wednesdays.
That's what I was thinking.
Pixar stuff will be Thursday. You know, it's just
yeah, like have a day, kind of like how like Cartoon Network and different channels used to do. Like you have days for different things. You know, you had like because I remember Cartoon Network, they used to have like comedy shows on Thursday night and action shows on Friday night when they had like Clone Wars and stuff, and then like Chowder and everything was on Thursday. So like, they had, it's like you have your slot. So like, keep Marvel stuff like on a Wednesday, like you said, Pixar could be on a Thursday or like a Monday. Star Wars stuff could be on a Friday. So when like Boba Fett or Mandalorian comes back or whatever, you don't have to worry about oh, we got to make sure this show's over so we can save our one Wednesday spot. Because
I think Book of Boba Fett's probably going to come out either, if Hawkeye is coming out this year, I think that's going to be the one right before Book of Boba. I think Book of Boba Fett's starting in December.
Right.
I think we're also going to have to get through Miss Marvel and then also Hawkeye. If they decide to do all of that on Wednesday, it probably would be for the best if Book of Boba Fett, it just keeps on the trend of having Star Wars stuff being on Fridays.
Because I mean, assuming they're both, if Miss Marvel and Hawkeye is 6 episodes, I mean that's like 3 months.
I think Miss Marvel is 8 with their shorter
longer,
episodes.
I mean that could be a while. Plus, isn't there usually like a buffer week between shows?
That sounds right. Yeah. However, Wednesday to Wednesday feels a lot shorter than Friday to Friday. I know you haven't really like experienced this.
That's true. I'd agree with that, because like there have been other things in life that have been like a Wednesday thing, because it's in the middle of the week, so you never feel that far away from it, and you're distracted when it's the weekend because it's the weekend.
Yeah,
you're happy.
I'm kind of of two minds of that. Like, yes, like I keep thinking like, oh crap, like Loki is only 2 days away, whereas like I'm not even thinking about it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, etc. Whereas when Mandalorian and WandaVision were out, I was like, I just want it now, and it's only Sunday. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
However, I think as of right now, there's a chance that I'm only really thinking that because I still have Bad Batch to look forward to on Fridays.
That's true.
Which Bad Batch? Did you see the most recent episode? Dude.
You think I didn't? Oh my God. Well, I screamed at my TV. Like my brother thought something was on fire. Like I lost it. I was so dude. Oh my gosh! I've never been so like. I felt bad because this. Like this was like the Luke Skywalker thing all over again. I was like, oh God. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I just assumed they took the deleted scene from Clone Wars as canon, but no, he's still around.
Because they've done that with other things. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of assumed all the unfinished episodes have already happened, but they haven't.
No,
apparently, because he's still running around.
And like they're clearly hinting at like, I guess not a rematch because it never actually technically happened, but they're clearly hinting at him and Boba's duel later because Cad Bane said, if you know how to beat one clone, you know them all, implying he's going to get beat by a clone later.
Right. Of course.
I gotta
be like, oh my God. Dude,
that is.
Dude, I love that so much.
If I don't think any other like bounty hunter, really any other character could have had that kind of reaction. Like if it was like if Finnick hadn't shown up earlier and she showed up there, that would have been cool. But she wouldn't have had the same impact to a show styled after Clone Wars.
Right.
Like he was
everyone who's watching this show has seen Clone. It's assumed everyone watching this show has seen Clone Wars. And the dude was a fan favorite, but we haven't seen him since I think like the Hardeen arc or whatever it was. Back when it was like season 4, I think. So it's been like almost probably been almost like 10 years probably, to be honest.
Yeah, 9 years,
so so it's been forever. And the dude is like a boss. He just like the hat, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Like The absolute sweat. He just walks up like nutty, like so casual, dude. I love it. Oh, I was so happy. It was only like 2 minutes, but that was like the best moment. I played that like 4 times back.
Yes.
I was so happy.
So like up until this point, even though like, I love Star Wars stuff, like I've been enjoying Bad Batch enough. It hasn't really like really grabbed me in a way where it's like if this weren't Star Wars, I wouldn't be coming back to it. But like that little bit where like Cad Bane has Omega now, I'm like, okay, the stakes are high enough for me to actually really get invested now. It's like yes. So yeah, like that alone has tied me over until Wednesday, but I don't know if that will be as effective if say Miss Marvel comes out and there's no additional like other Disney Plus show on a different day. I don't know if it'll be the same if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like because for a while there, Bad Batch was kind of like the lulls were. It was getting kind of boring. Like it really was. Like the first episode was really engaged, really good. Second episode, okay, and for like 4 episodes, it was kind of just like boring.
Yeah.
And Rex shows up. You're like, oh, cool, Rex, awesome. And then we got this episode. Like we were asking for this like 3 episodes ago. Like Crosshair finally shows back up.
Mm-hmm.
They got other clones, and it's weird because you're still doing the thing where you're used to the clones being the good guys,
mm-hmm.
and then and you feel bad when the clones die, but it's also like, wait, but they're the bad guys, so is it? Should I remorse? I don't know. Like, so because it's weird because like clones are getting shot, and I'm like, ah, oh, dang, and I'm like, well, wait, that's a good no, but I think Omega shot a clone. I was like, oh,
I think so, yeah. Yeah,
I don't feel great about that. Like I get, like, granted, that's the right play at the time, but it still just feels. It's like fresh off the Clone Wars. It still feels weird, and I think that's good because, like, it is fresh off the actual Clone Wars chronologically, so it makes sense. But
yeah, and it was so clever that there was no hint of Cad Bane showing up. Just like,
I love that.
Just like you knew that the troop was heading back to their ship. You knew that like Crosshair was getting back up, and then he called get whoever,
whatever,
like get the ship. Hello, like who's there? And then it just cuts to them all dead. It's like, wait, I just expected them to just already be at the ship and flying away, but no, Hunter hadn't even gotten there yet. Just, oh my goodness.
Dude, you knew something was because I think they mentioned like I know the Kaminoans mentioned something like a bounty hunter or something. So I was like, it's either gonna be Fennec.
They were talking about Fennec, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably gonna be Fennec or like maybe Boba Fett because like he's also a clone, so maybe they have like some contact with him.
He is showing up at some point.
Oh, absolutely. He has to. Like it's gonna happen, but no, Cad Bane. Oh, so. Dude is awesome, and he's got his little droid partner too, which is always funny because he's so weird. Yep. No, that was an absolute delight. I was so happy to see Cad Bane, and it's kind of because you kind of know it's like, oh, dude, you're about to get wrecked, bro.
Sorry, Hunter, you might die now.
Right? Because that's what I was like, they're not gonna kill him. I can't kill him. He's like the main character. You can't kill him.
This chest plate is just more armored than others, I guess.
I guess. I mean, because we all know Cad Bane has killed many a clones with one shots. So I mean, like, I think about that one clone got like one shot to the face that one time. I was like, oh god. But so we'll see. But yeah, I hope Cad Bane kind of not like that. He's gonna be like a main antagonist. Like sticks around a little bit because like. But don't overdo it, but definitely that was a huge win.
Mm-hmm. Huge. Like I think he's gonna stick around for 2 more episodes.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah. Like obviously they gotta get Omega back, or is he just gonna drop him off at Camino and then leave, or what do you think?
I think I think there's some higher power that's also after Omega. I don't know why yet, but I think there's someone else out there. Possibly Thrawn. I want Thrawn in here.
Thrawn.
Why not?
I know, no, I get it. But like, are we there yet? Is Thrawn
I think I mentioned this earlier. Moff Gideon needs to show up at some point.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that at one point.
Yeah. So like considering how in Mandalorian, it was revealed that he was kind of tapping into, some early cloning stuff that
That is
maybe could have
right.
led um to Palpatine reviving. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if Omega has the Force. Like from just how lucky she is, I wouldn't be surprised if she has some kind of Force potential. So
How
it would
well
make
she
a
can
lot of
do
sense
stuff.
if Gideon, especially since he has such strong ties to the Mandalorians, like like not only in the Mandalorian, but like in canon of that show, he was the one leading the charge on Mandalore. So it would make sense for him to be involved now. So bring Omega to him to start that early testing.
Man,
That could be
that
fun.
would be sick. They connect all that.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. That's what I love about having all this different Star Wars. Like it's all good. So when you just connect it, it's just better. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
That would be sick. I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to figure out where we are because like there's no way of knowing how much time has passed. So I'm like, is it still like a week or has it been like a couple months? Like where are we?
Yeah,
still?
because they're bounty hunter. They've been bounty hunters for that one person for who knows how long. Like,
Exactly. So it's kind of like, like obviously we're not like Rogue One yet or anything, but like,
no.
or like Fallen Order or anything, but like, still, it's like, it's probably been at least, like, I feel like it's been at least a month, like
Yeah.
it's been like at least, like Darth Vader's walking around at this point. Like, so it's like, because it's weird, because like you think about it, the show starts, he's still on Mustafar, so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so how much time? Because like I don't know if there's like a time take because we don't know how much time it's been. Because like the Death Star is being like started, I guess.
But yeah, there's no way of telling how, like when the Death Star actually got started. Like it could have started before the war even ended.
Right. That's what because they had the plans or whatever in episode 2, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been there. They could have been doing that the whole
I
time.
am not a fan. Like that is legitimately one of my least favorite moments of fan service from the Clone Wars.
Really?
From the prequels, where it's just like, well, as far as like I can think of right now, because it wasn't mentioned at all in episode 2 until he's like, we need to bring these plans to a safe place. Wasn't mentioned at all before then. Wasn't mentioned at all in episode 3 until the very, very end when it's just, oh, it's already being built.
Right.
Like, it wasn't the Death Star, one of the most iconic things from Star Wars, wasn't really referenced at all, aside from two like blink and you miss it moments.
Yeah.
If you're gonna reference it, make it a big deal.
Right. Okay, I agree. I can say that because it was kind of one of those like just to reference something.
Yeah, like if as Supreme Chancellor, Palpatine created like smaller prototype weapons to like kind of end the war faster or something that eventually would become the Death Star. That could be one thing.
Right.
I think that's something they should have expanded more on in Clone Wars and other media.
I remember thinking that. Do you remember in season 1 of Clone Wars they had like that ship, the Malevolence or whatever?
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna like lead into the Death Star kind of because like
Right.
I think it even had like the same like the stock footage when it's like boom and like the droid and they pull the thing and the droid's on the edge and the thing shoots out. Like obviously it does a very different thing, but I was like maybe they'll kind of like use that somehow and kind of work with that, but that obviously didn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, I see what you mean though. It's kind of just like it's a throwaway reference just to kind of be like, oh, we did the thing from the thing, and it's like, well, okay, but I mean that doesn't really matter. Right
I don't
now.
need to know that the Geonosians created it. Kind of like what why?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, especially when they're not really relevant after Clone Wars, really.
Whatever. So yeah, the timetable for Bad Batch is a little
unclear. That's probably on purpose though.
Yeah, that way stuff can just kind of happen and you're not really like
that doesn't match up, 'cause,
like you don't know when it is,
right? Because there's no narrator. And I miss
he was probably a Jedi who died during Order 66.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I miss the narrator. I do. I was like, because the narrator always like kind of made you feel kind of like connected.
But well, actually, there's kind of probably there's probably an in canon reason why, and then like a real reason why. I think so. It was the voice actor for Admiral Yularen,
Right.
who it could have been him. I don't know if it was actually Yularen or if it was a Jedi who was supposed to be.
Could be. Yeah, there's no way.
Or I mean, Yularen probably got usurped by clones during the whole thing.
Do you think so?
Probably. I mean, he was probably like on a ship somewhere, and like clones started turning on Jedi, and he like probably tried to reprimand them, and he was like,
yeah, that's true.
You're a
Yeah,
traitor.
I didn't really think about that. That's right, because like all the crew, pretty much, except for like the admirals, were like clones. Because even like
All
the
of them.
like crewmen or whatever were clones too. So yeah, they probably all just like yeah. But then again, but it's weird because then you obviously Tarkin's like fine. So like I guess it just depends on the guy.
Oh yeah, like absolutely. Like Tarkin wasn't like
Tarkin was not trying to save nobody.
no. he was on board from the jump. Like he knew.
He was like, "Oh, cool, we're doing this now." Like,
I've been waiting for this for years.
yeah, he's probably like, I've been pushing for a Jedi purge for the last 5 years. But thankfully, the Chancellor has finally done something about it. Excuse me, the Emperor. Like, oh my gosh. Like, he probably was like on the committee, like, we need to do something about the
Jedi. So yeah, it was either Admiral Yularen or some Jedi voiced by him. That was, one of them or both was killed off during Order 66.
Yeah.
The real reason why is that I think the voice actor who did Admiral Yularen, I think also did Yoda and a couple other like kind of major characters. He actually suffered a stroke a year back, so like he hasn't really had to. He's alive, but he hasn't really done any voice acting since. So,
no, I mean that's a big deal. I mean that especially with like voice and stuff, that really messes with like speech and stuff, among other things. Dude, that's
so I'm not sure of his condition right now. I just know that he hasn't done any voice acting since. That's
I mean that's pretty serious. Yeah.
I have a feeling there probably wouldn't have been a narrator regardless, but that regardless, if there were to be one, it wouldn't have been him.
Right, because they probably would have replaced it anyway, because there was a time. So I feel like the no narrator is intentional, because it does kind of feel like they're on their own. And like you said, and like you said, or I think you mentioned this one time, it was kind of like the 1940s World War II, like soldiers are going here and there, and like obviously now the war is over, so like they're not gonna have the same kind of style to it, but
But there was a narrator in episode 1, right? Like
because that was like right before it ended.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
We're just gonna play this straight, like it's still an episode of Clone Wars. Like we're just gonna play it straight.
Because I think wasn't it like how did it start again? I don't remember.
It started with what was that old kid's name?
Oh, was it
Kyle? No,
it's Caleb doing
Caleb,
yeah, he's Kanan in the Rebels. I don't know why they changed his name. I need to watch that to figure that out. But okay, I heard his
voice actor for that child.
Yeah, that was like a
40-year-old man.
That dude sounded like he was 42.
Yeah.
That child does not need to sound like that at all. But all right.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, maybe in the future they'll like kind of change their mind about that and have it more like per property. They'll do it like premiere on different days, but as of right now, they're sticking to Wednesdays only. So we'll see if that goes forward. Like you said, I think I campaigned really early on, like during early speculation of what Disney Plus would be. I actually kind of campaigned for it to kind of become the new Disney Channel, where like, just stop Disney Channel, period. Like, why even have Disney Channel when you have Disney Plus here? That just
Disney Channel still, what is even on Disney Channel anymore? Do we even know? I mean,
new sitcoms and other stuff.
Man.
I'm pretty sure like most cartoons are either being canceled or moved to Disney Plus. So it seems like if you're just having like dumb live action shows that are Disney Plus, Disney Channel live action sitcoms, like just instead of doing it there, just have all the Disney Channel content move over to Disney Plus, and then like you said, have it be like Mondays is sitcom day, Tuesdays is random cartoon day, Wednesday Marvel day, Thursday, Pixar Day, Friday, Star Wars Day. I think that can work very well. But I don't know.
I've never heard of like. I just looked it up. I've never heard of like most of these shows.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm a grown up now, so I'm not watching Disney Channel like as much as I used to. But still, like.
Well, we see like commercials or something for it. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess not.
Yep.
Especially with all the ads, like different sites have. It's like you would expect to see something, but
yeah. Yeah. Moving on. So Black Widow is releasing on July 9th, whether it be in theaters or on Disney Plus is up to you how you want to see it. But if you can somehow avoid spoilers for 3 months, it's coming for free on October 6th on Disney Plus. So
October 6th, good gracious. That's like, I feel like that's longer than the other movies have been, is it?
That's about right. I think Mulan premiered September, came out December. So that's about right. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just thought that. But yeah, I mean, there's no way anyone's gonna. I mean, you'll probably watch it again.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, there's no way that you're gonna wait that long and like avoid spoilers. Like people are gonna be like,
I'm watching it either the day of or that Saturday. I am.
Yeah, it's gonna be within the first 2 days. It has to be, if not the night before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that's an option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some places get it Wednesdays now, which is ridiculous.
Wednesdays?
Yeah. Endgame spoilers started coming up on YouTube Wednesday night.
Why would you? But why would you do that?
I don't know.
I don't understand why. I don't understand. Like, I get people like could like maybe like tweet about something. But why post it on YouTube? Because it's like, one, A, it's gonna get taken down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
B, you're just ruining it for people because you put in the caps and all titles, Iron Man dies or something stupid.
Like, I know this, but I assumed it would happen, but you don't gotta tell me.
Right? Especially like in Infinity War, because like, you thought it was gonna happen and it didn't. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like just like most of the world wants to see this. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people are gonna people, as I always say.
Yeah. So probably for the best if you just find a way to watch it well before October 6th.
Yes.
But if you want to watch it again, October 6th, it'll be free. So yeah. I think they said Shang-Chi is only going to be in theaters by itself 45 days before it, like, I think it'll still be in theaters longer than that, but I think it's moving either to streaming or other stuff 45 days after.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's probably okay. I mean, 45 days, granted, it's not a long time, but like,
I mean, most Marvel movies, yes, they do get the majority of their money in the first 2 weeks, but Marvel movies can have some legs. Like Spider-Man Far From Home, I think it was in theaters from July. That one in particular, I don't know why that one stuck out, but I think that one was in theaters from July 9th all the way to the end of September.
Dang.
So,
yeah. But it all depends on like what else is out and like, and the moment of the movie. Because like that was the first movie like post Endgame, so everyone had to know. Plus, it's Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, how is the world also? But also Spider-Man and Tom Holland and Zendaya and everything. Everybody wants to see.
Exactly.
And
speaking of which, give me that trailer for 3. I want that trailer now.
Oh my God. What? Yeah. What about that? Where's that at? Like
everyone was saying, oh, it's going to come out on Tom Holland's birthday, June 1st. It's going to happen. It's been almost a month since then. Where is it?
All I want to know, I need to see something because for all we know right now, we having 3 Spider-Mans from the last 20 years and William Dafoe's coming back and all these like. Which, granted, I don't think like any of that's happening, but the fact that it
not to like spoil anything, but in Loki, there is 1 or 2 lines from the first episode that specifically tell me it's possible. Like
wait.
The way Loki is going, I could easily see something with either timeline deviations or straight up this show creating multiverses that could therefore cause the past Spider-Man movies to technically exist within this universe.
This is gonna get ridiculous.
Like I said, there's going to be one character in particular that once she starts talking, pay attention to what she's saying.
Okay, I got it.
I felt like halfway through episode 2, it'll make sense.
Things will start coming together.
Yeah.
Things will start coming together. Okay. See, this is gonna be weird. I can but if they do this, if they really like go all in on this, I mean, this is gonna change movies forever.
Yes.
Because then because like Marvel's the trendsetter now. Because like first it was just having a connected universe, but now if they take former things and bring them up to now with other things, every single like spin-off, every single 10 years later we redid the same idea. Every remake, everything is gonna like.
They're doing that with Flashpoint and Michael Keaton's Batman. So
yeah, supposedly, which.
He's already been seen on set of the movie.
So. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I still want to watch that movie comes out because I still like. It's been a while. Granted, there's been COVID, but even before COVID, that movie was struggling.
It was scheduled for 3 years ago.
Yeah, maybe it's just back in time and we don't know it yet. Like, I don't know. Maybe they changed the timeline accidentally. Yeah. They had to fix it to bring the
whatever. So yeah, I am super excited for where Loki is going. I could easily see Loki having being some of the most important content for Phase 4 and future Marvel stuff. Like,
oh man, this should be awesome.
Yeah, like by end of episode 2 already, I could easily see things going crazy. So,
oh man, this is gonna be good, dude. How do they do? There's so much good Marvel stuff. It's like it's weird because like. At any point, you kind of expect it to run out of gas, but at the same time, nah.
No, it's still going strong. Like,
right?
I would argue that the Phase 4 stuff right now has been like maybe some of the best Marvel stuff. Period. Yeah. Like at least consistently fantastic stuff. Like yeah. Hopefully,
there's that trend. Yeah. Nothing. I don't think anything below. Really good has really come out.
Yeah, like I have a couple of issues here and there with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but like overall, it's still very, very good.
Yeah, like it's probably not the best thing that's come out, but it's still not like it's still very good. And there's a lot of other Marvel stuff that I would say is worse than this.
Yep, like honestly, most of it is worse than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. Whatever.
I think people forget like. Some stuff sometimes they don't realize how how big a deal some of these movies are bad. Like people forget because like Endgame and all that stuff is like, man, it's hard to forget that. I mean, that's always going to be good, but it's like it wasn't always like this.
No, it was not. 2 Thor movies, both Ant-Mans are fine.
They're better than they should. The first Ant-Man will always be better than I expect. I expected nothing.
True.
So there's that.
Because Ant-Man 1 rose the bar a little bit, Ant-Man the Wasp kind of fell flat because it's as good as the first one, but you're hoping it'd be better than okay. So
yeah, especially with like more development. There's been more movies with Ant-Man in it, so his characters had more development and stuff. But it's like.
So like essentially if anyone legitimately ever tries to tell you that Captain Marvel is the worst Marvel movie, let alone worst superhero movie,
that's lies.
Why that one? It's good, it's fine, like no, it's fine.
It's not that the movie's not that bad.
No,
there are way worse Marvel movies, and if we're talking about just superhero movies, that's like not even close to the bottom.
like people always
I'll go educate some people on some toilet bowl superhero
it's not
movies.
Actually the first women-led superhero. Elektra doesn't count. Catwoman doesn't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
These movies don't count.
How do they not count? They existed. They came out. They count to me.
They don't count.
If we're gonna say it's the worst, we need to go look at all the evidence. That's all I'm saying.
No, I said she's not the first woman-led. If people are like, people try to take any shot at Captain Marvel, and it's like she's not actually the first Like, yes,
Right,
Wonder Woman
right,
did come out 2 years prior, but so she was technically it was the first. But like,
right.
as far as Marvel goes, Elektra doesn't count.
No, I mean that's fair, but yeah, it's weird because that's weird because they were kind of the same thing with Black Panther. Like, oh, the first Black movie, and it's like there's like 3 Blade movies, and it's just like,
One of them is
oh,
good.
yeah, but like granted, like that's fair, but it's also like I mean, like they still happen. Are we just gonna pretend like we did all it was?
First one in 30 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been long. I mean, it's been long enough. Everyone forgot, so like
Yeah.
that's all that really matters, I
Mhm.
guess, at least in some circles. But
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Oh man, it's
Oh, last little bit of Marvel news. Tyrese Gibson is apparently in the Mobius movie. Please just don't, there'll only be one. And in an interview, this maniac said that like he claimed that Morbius is in the MCU.
he can't say that.
Keep in mind, this is the man that tried to say that if the Avengers fought the crew from Fast and the Furious, the Fast and Furious crew would win.
They first off, I mean, he had to say that because honestly, like there that he had to start controversy. I mean, that's all. He's obviously trolling.
He was like, oh, like in this new one, we like in this newest one, like we all have like superpowers, like it gets crazy. Like I not like you're not Thor. Like what are you doing?
I mean, like, look,
I know you got Dwayne Johnson, but like, come on.
no, like, admittedly, the Fast and Furious movie has gone from like street racing to basically the Expendables over the last couple of years.
Yes,
but
they're not.
No, they're not
Captain America, even
no,
like.
not, no, I mean, no. Any Avenger would take all of them
Yes.
by themselves. Like, period. But at the same time, like, I mean, he's just saying it for clout. Like, I mean, like people do this stuff. They're trying, it's like.
Not to mention Sony has already denied this. Like, yeah,
well, of course. Like, I mean, first of all, it's like I don't think they legally can do that. First of all, so they're already wrong. Second of all, it's like
Adrian Toomes is in that movie for 2 seconds.
I mean, technically,
it's either there's a Michael Keaton playing a character who is the Vulture in every timeline, including Morbius, or this movie's in the same universe as Spider-Man. I am inclined to believe the former. I think it just so happens that just like with like J. Jonah Jameson, certain actors play play these characters in every timeline. Yeah.
And especially if it's like a minor-ish role, because like, and I feel like they're like maybe if these movies do well, maybe they'll try to sneak them into the MCU, but I don't think they will because that's not
unless you get him into Blade and he kills someone.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's just, I mean, he's trolling, like, I get it. But see, the thing is, like, yes, of course he's out of line, but at the same time, we would not be talking about it on the podcast if he didn't say it. So, like, you know what I mean?
I had no intention of breaking up Morbius unless he said that. So.
Right? Now more people are like, oh, I gotta see this. Wait a minute. And nope.
Sony's like, no.
Don't do it. Don't go see it. It's not gonna be. I was already like, I was out. Like Venom, I wasn't excited for, and like Morbius, I'm so out. Like it's not even funny.
Venom 2 is coming out on my birthday, and I don't plan on seeing it.
Oh no, I wouldn't either. I mean, unless I hear from multiple credible people that I know that say it is good, which
doubt. I doubt.
Yeah, again, doubt. I ain't gonna go see it unless, of course, somehow I get dragged into it. They're like, oh, let's do it. And like, because again, my friends are the friends that if there's movies out, we're going, which I get it and I like that because we do stuff. But at the same time, it's like,
can we just get ice cream and not just watch a bad movie?
Right? Like, can we just go to Cold Stone? Like, it's fine. Like, we can't even bring our ice cream in the movie. So like, let's just stay out here. I'll just pull up.
Why is there always a Cold Stone right next to movie theaters?
Because you want ice cream, and I don't think movie theaters sell ice cream.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, you have popcorn, you have a big drink, and you're like, I want something sweet. And then
crunch candy bites just don't cut it. I want ice
No,
cream.
they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. It's not the same. I just don't. Yeah, but no, I don't know. Every mall has like has that like Annie's pretzels or whatever, or somebody's pretzels. I don't think it's Annie's. I don't know. Somebody's pretzels and a Cold Stone
Yep.
because they know you need both. But the movie theaters sell pretzels? I think some.
I'm
of
sure
them
some
do.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of mine. Does. I have no idea. It's been too long. I've only been there. I only get popcorn last time I was there because I'm just happy to have popcorn back, even though it did not taste the same as it tasted before COVID did. So that worries me.
Your taste buds haven't been changed for a certain reason. I'm kidding.
I mean, they might have, but like movie theater popcorn, like movie theater popcorn always tastes different than regular popcorn, like microwave at home.
Yeah, like maybe you've just gone so long eating normal popcorn that movie theater popcorn just didn't taste right. But
I hope not. But then again, I didn't do my like super buttering like layering thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
You didn't give yourself enough diabetes.
Hey, diabetes tastes delicious. Thank you very much. I don't want to hear it.
It does.
But yeah, Morbius is not the move.
Yeah. In other nerd news, Aquaman 2 is officially called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So there's that.
Okay.
Moving on.
Great. I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, I feel like that could have been the name of the first one.
Yeah, because Atlantis is the lost. Like, what are the Lost Kingdom is there?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, well, I mean, all right. Like, unless he somehow wanders upon Themyscira, I don't see that working out.
But like, it's not lost to us. Like, that'd be cool if
they do like a Wakanda and like reveal Themyscira or Atlantis or something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
I guess it could be like from the perspective of land dwellers.
Right. Because if Atlantis showed up today, we'd be like, whoa. Because it is the lost city of Atlantis, so to speak. So maybe that's what they're doing.
Could be. I mean, Aquaman 1 is decent. It's fine. It's like a 6 maybe.
It's a 5. I gave it a 5. Straight up. I will watch it if there's nothing else on. That is all. But even then,
I don't even know if I go that far.
I don't know. Now I don't know. Like, it depends. Like, when I say no, it's hard to say when nothing else is on because we have streaming now. So whatever you want is always on.
Fingertips. Yeah.
It's like, back when you said nothing's on, I was like, you surf or whatever, and I can't find it. But now it's like, well, I know for a fact I can stream something better than this instantly from my
on
phone.
HBO.
Right? I can just go to Disney Plus or HBO or Netflix or anything but Showtime. And I can find something better.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of HBO, I actually had this as a bullet point. I was so excited about it. HBO Max fixed their player on desktop.
Finally.
Before, you couldn't skip forward 15 seconds. You could skip back 15 seconds. You couldn't skip forward. Like it's still weird that it's 15 seconds, but at least they have buttons now where you can skip forward and back.
Okay.
Yes.
How hard was that to do though? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I have issues with I still have some issues with the Disney Plus player at times. They have made massive improvements over the time. You can now actually
still not great.
You can hit the space bar to pause stuff now, which is a standard in players.
Yeah, that's like everything. But like everything does that though. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that's something you could have had. I mean, I don't know. Like, the Disney Plus player has been giving me issues on like on my TV, from my PlayStation, on my phone, like everything.
The console and smart TV app for Disney Plus is not good.
No, it's
really hard to fast forward and rewind stuff on that.
Yeah, and like there's no like when you do like continue watching, how like you can't like look at other episodes either.
Yep.
You go right into where you stop, or you just can't click it. You have to find it somewhere else.
Every week when we go to Bad Batch, I don't go to continue watching. I go to the Star Wars tab, find Bad Batch, and then go to the episode.
Right? Like, how hard is it just to have one more screen that's like other episodes or play like Netflix or every other streaming
or Hulu?
like,
every single one.
like how hard? Like I understand, like this is like, you know, like Nick. Well, not really, because like that's the standard now. Like Netflix has been doing. I don't
HBO
think.
doesn't do that either.
I
HBO,
know. That's
yeah.
why I don't like them either. Like both of them. That's what I like their content, but both of their players suck. And I'm like, how hard is it to get a good player?
Like at least once you get to watching a thing on computer, it's like both are generally fine. I still really wish that both at least one of them would do the Netflix thing where as you're fast forwarding or rewinding, it shows like a little like display of where you are in the
Yeah.
movie or
Yeah.
show. Like even YouTube does that. Like what are you whatever.
Yeah. No, I think it's weird because I think Disney Plus does that on my phone, but not on my TV.
Oh, I haven't really touched the mobile app. Okay.
No, I use some mobile app when I'm like going to bed or something. I'm just watching things, but it's still like annoying, and it's like half the time it's blurry anyway or buffering, so you can't even use it.
Yeah.
But you just have to guesstimate, and it's weird because like
these are some of the richest. Things. These are some of the richest companies on the planet.
Right?
Can't get
like you telling me Disney can't afford to get a template for their like Disney, who owns everybody.
Not to mention they on Hulu, Hulu's player is better than theirs.
Hulu has a way better player, and like I own you.
Player was better than HBO's. DC Universe's player was better than HBO, so why not just use that?
Yeah, I have no idea how that. I don't know how any of that works. Like, but yeah, their players. But honestly, for me, that's a big deal. Like, players is like if you're player like I can't be like I don't want it because I have to have it, but it's also like it bothers me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, like if Netflix just like their players started messing up, I'd be like, I don't think I can deal with Netflix anymore. But that's the thing. Netflix, in my opinion, has the best player. They just don't have any more content anymore.
Yeah, like I guess there's the Queen's Gambit. I haven't watched that yet.
I haven't seen that.
I like last thing.
I was watching The Witcher. Like in the last year, I watched The Witcher, Bridgerton, because everyone was watching that.
Right.
I was watching Castlevania, but then I stopped.
So yeah, I got halfway through season 3 and then just kind of stopped watching. Apparently, season 4 is very good. But I just
I've heard that. I'm not there yet. I was also watching. What was I watching? I think Demon Slayer because it didn't have it doesn't have ads. It does.
The dub for that is actually very good. So it's you're not really missing anything.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Because I'm like, there's a lot of shows I need to watch, but I'm like, and then like, you don't watch anything.
Exactly.
But it's like I don't know what to watch. You know what? Let's just watch Revenge of the Sith. That's a new one.
Yeah. Let's just laugh at this bad movie that so many people on the internet call a masterpiece, even though it's one of the my favorite movies because of how bad it is. Anyway, moving on.
It's one of those movies that has things that you like, even though you know it's not great. It's like the guy who you know isn't the best, but he's been your guy for so long that you still go ride with him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Because that was like the first movie, one of the, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like, because I, like, as a kid, I loved that movie. And like,
yeah, as a kid, I adored the prequels because they were kids' movies. As an adult, I adore them because they are bad movies.
That's the thing. It's weird because like I don't like 1 and 2. I don't even want to watch them anymore.
They are fantastic. They are alright.
Like, especially my brother's like, oh yeah, let's watch episode 1. Let's watch them all. I was like, can we not? I really don't want to. And then we get to episode 1. I'm like, oh my god, Jar Jar's already here. Like, I thought we had like a buffer before. I thought there was a buffer before he showed up. There's like a 5 minutes. He's already in it. I'm like, oh my god.
That 5 minutes isn't great either.
I know, but it's still like
Viceroy Gunray is one of my top 5 favorite Star Wars characters. Every single line coming out of his mouth is iconic. Every single line.
He's so funny because like you know that guy.
Like, are you kidding me?
Even in the Clone Wars, Gunray's hilarious. He's just like, you know that guy. Like, oh my, you are nothing.
his little friend too is also fantastic. Like, joining us up here at once. It won't be enough, sir. Like, thanks, guy.
Like, oh yeah, you're telling me now. Like, I swear. Oh my gosh.
I love that. so much.
There's so much Star Wars. It's wild to think. I think I need to go. I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know. People are saying they're like, oh, man, this is so good. And I'm like, it's weird because like Star Wars fans are so divided on what's good and what's not. It's like everyone's like, oh yeah, Mandalorian's great, but then it's like other stuff. It's like it depends on who you ask. It's so weird. And it's like
I want to believe that Empire is universal. Empire Strikes Back is universal,
yes,
right?
I
Everyone
agree.
agrees that is at least top 3 best, right?
They better. If they don't, then I'm not talking to them really. Like I don't. If you don't think Empire Strikes Back is one of the top 3 Star Wars movies, then I don't. My opinion on your opinion has greatly diminished. There has to be a
Generally,
very
I can't think of a third one that I would possibly put in like Return of the Jedi, maybe. The Last Jedi. I personally love that movie. I don't love it more than Empire. It's really close for me, but I don't.
No way. No,
I love them for very different reasons. But
Jedi's the only one for me.
Return of the Jedi. But,
well, yeah. Sorry, I can't say Jedi anymore. That's right. Yeah. I keep forgetting that.
Like, if you try to tell me that Revenge of the Sith is a better movie than anything I've listed already, no,
it's not better. No, it's not better. I grew up with it, so like I
love it.
I have the nostalgia that like older people have with the older movies.
Acting in that, like, here's the distinct difference between episode 1 and 2 and 3. The acting in episode 1 and 2 is atrociously bad. It is horrendous. The acting in episode 3 is just plain weird. Anakin in those movies is just weird. Everything Palpatine says is just weird. It's not bad. A lot of it is kind of bad, but most of it just kind of falls in the weird, like, why is this happening category? Whereas 1 and 2 is just kind of very bad.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like a lot of times the amount of times I watch the prequels and I'm like, why would you say that? It's like astonishing. Like every other, like episode 2, every other Anakin line, I'm just like, who talks like that?
Even episode 3, like,
yeah,
like, I'm so like, you're beautiful. You only say that because I'm so in love. No, it's because I'm so in love so in love with you. So love has blinded you. Why did they say that?
I think that was trying to be like cute banner, but it was really that. Like, also, what kind of answer is that? It's like, you only say, it's like, I'm so beautiful. You don't say it because I'm so in love. I'm like, okay, just don't take the compliment. Like all right. Like,
also,
trying to be nice.
People don't talk enough about how just insane it is. Not even just weird, how insane it is that Anakin and Padme hadn't seen each other for 10 years between episode 1 and 2, which is already crazy. But like, they apparently hadn't seen each other for 10 years. They get away together for like 3 days, and then they get married.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes no sense.
Like, it's not like they had the secret relationship that they've been, keeping, keeping secret for instantly get
hey, I remember you. Remember like me when I was 9 years. I'm legal now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how creepy that is. Like that's so creepy. But it's kind of true because it's like they just kind of, and it's weird because like for the first like hour and a half of episode 2, she gives kind of the like how you would expect it to be, like, okay, this is weird, leave me alone, stop being creepy. And then she kind of just decides, you know what, I'm gonna lean into it, it's cool. Like, I'm like, what?
Like, it's one thing if they were childhood friends, or if when they met they were both 9 or 10. She was already like 14. Like, this is weird.
Yeah, that
I didn't barely legal. Why they what did. Are you doing?
I never understood why they did that.
Like, she was like, it would never work. You're a Jedi and I'm a Senator. There are several reasons why this won't work.
Like, I understand, like, after a certain point, age differences aren't as big a deal, but at the same time, that's kind of a lot.
They have they had nothing in common. B, you've been away from each other for 10 years, further
You don't even know
distancing.
this person.
Yeah, you don't know
Can
each
you
other.
imagine someone you met in like 5th grade and that you haven't seen since like elementary school just showing back up and then just like, you know what? Let's get married. Like, you know what I mean?
Weird. It's weird. It would be like if you're in 6th grade and they're in 3rd grade, and now all of a sudden 10 years later, like it, right?
That's so much worse.
That's essentially
so much worse. Oh,
like that's about the right age, right? Like
something like that. I don't
like
I mean,
5th or 6th grade, and they're
I think
you're
14 is like 8th or 9th grade, and 9 is like 4th grade.
Okay, so yeah, you're in like 7th or 8th grade. They're in 4th grade.
That is
like that's weird.
That's interesting.
And they just
I mean, I get it. He's older, but I guess like I don't know. And it's weird too because it's like for the longest time she thinks he's like super weird, and then like at one point she just decides, you know what? You're not weird anymore. I'm actually gone the opposite of extreme, and now you're like the best thing ever. And it's like there was like and for like no reason. There wasn't like a like it was like I think I like this guy. I just committed genocide. Wow, I really like this guy. Like it's kind of
like it was weird. Like the turning point seemed to be when he cut her pear, like not even close to even.
Yeah, which was also really cringy.
And then like he floated over the CG part of it, so she has to like stab the air and then eat a CG piece of fruit. These people did not get paid enough for that movie.
Yeah, I just oh my gosh.
I think also it doesn't help the fact that Natalie Portman was 18 when she was playing a 14-year-old.
Because she definitely looked like grown. She looked pretty grown. Like, you know what I mean? She didn't look like a kid.
Like, I was always under the assumption, like when I was little, I was because I didn't know how time worked back then, I was under the assumption that she was already like 18 or something, and she just didn't age, I guess.
That is some kid logic.
Like this has to make sense somehow.
Because she does look, because it's weird, because she kind of looks the same in all the movies. Like maybe a little older than 3. Yeah, but I mean, like between 1 and 2, she looks the same.
Yeah, like once you hit 18, like not a lot changes. Like within the like 5-6 years of those movies coming out, like she's not gonna look drastically different. So,
but it's weird because it's like, I mean, obviously they obviously it's a different character, but even then, it's like Anakin from 2 and 3 looks entirely. I know it's the hair mostly, but it's like still, it's like I don't know. It's so weird to me, and it's just like, oh yeah, like I feel like they easily could have just, like you said, like they could have been child friends, or like like he could have just like they could have like seen each other passing glances, or like something like Romeo and Juliet. Oh, it's forbidden, but like I like her, and I like we have
or
that
you
one
could
mission.
just move the timeline up and have him have like, especially since like part of the big deal in episode 1 is the fact that Anakin is too old to train. He is what, 8 or 9, and he's already too old to train. Why not just go extreme and be like, he's already 13, 14? Like, I think that would have fixed. You could have picked an older actor. So then, nothing against Jake Lloyd, but Anakin in that movie is very annoying. You could have been working with a little older actor to kind of make that feel awkward.
This is true.
And then also just have it be like, only like 5, maybe 7 years have passed between movies, so then you can still have a
little more believable.
Yeah,
but and like and that's kind of always the thing that's kind of bothering me. It's like there was never a reason. It's like how like when things are written and like you kind of write yourself in a hole, so things have to be complicated on purpose.
Yep.
Versus when you made it yourself and it's still complicated.
You just described the entire Star Wars.
Yeah, because it's like
the entire trilogy is just.
It's like
to meticulously make things happen in the prequels to ensure that episode 4 happens, but sometimes they don't, and then by episode 3 you're like, oh wait, all this stuff needs to like
all you need, like it's weird because like all you really needed to happen for the trilogy, the OT, to make sense, you need to have Obi-Wan Kenobi has to be a Jedi, a younger person that's a Jedi, in some capacity knows Anakin Skywalker and Yoda. Everything else is pretty much you can kind of just throw it
But
together.
they
Like,
didn't even really get that right because they explicitly said in episode 5 that Yoda was my master. Yeah, they didn't even do that part right.
Which is weird to me because it's like that could have easily have happened. There was, like, granted, I like the idea of like Qui-Gon and everything, but it's like you could have easily just made Yoda his master. It's like Yoda. I mean, apparently Yoda had like 100 Padawans in his time, in his years or something. So it's like, and that could have easily been a thing. There was no reason not to, other than just, well, I want Liam Neeson to play this part.
Yeah, it's one thing to say that Yoda trained me. It's another thing to say that Yoda was my master.
Exactly.
He said he was my Jedi master.
It's weird because it's the same thing for like it happens all the time. It's like, oh, this person was a master, but actually it was this person. It's like, how many masters did you have? Like? Granted, he's the Grand Master, so I guess, is he everyone's master? Is that how we're doing this? Like,
that's not what the text of episode 5 said.
That's what I mean, and it's very obvious. So you got egg on your face by your own, like, but you knew that it wasn't hard to do that. Like, it could have literally just been Yoda, Obi-Wan, and then they find Anakin, and then like it could have just been, or Anakin could have just been a Jedi the whole time, which I never understood why they didn't do that. That just kind of always.
I mean.
Like, I get it. He has to be different because he's chosen one. But, like, why couldn't he just be a prodigy? Like,
also, don't make him a chosen one.
Yeah. Well, the chosen one, I'm okay with the chosen one thing because it kind of works out in a way. It also makes it feel like there's a reason Luke Skywalker just kind of, like, Luke Skywalker is kind of too good, kind of starting out.
Starting out,
I mean, not starting out, but you know what I mean? Like, he gets very good very quickly.
He gets really good very quickly between episode 5 and 6 when he already had a little bit of training and like actually had motivation to get better in order to try to turn his father. Whereas when he was training with Yoda in episode 5, he wasn't a prodigy or anything. He just.
Well, I know, but it's like, I mean, I get it, but it's like, you can't, like, even if he was like, even if he had more training, it's like, I mean, not just any, granted, it's older, but not just anybody's going to go up there, beat Darth Vader, and like, I mean, granted, still get washed by the Emperor, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he just got like force thrown. Like, Darth Vader casually kills Jedi for breakfast. Like, this, granted, he's older, but like, you can't just be anybody. So like, if they just had any old kid walk up in there, try to, like, so it kind of makes sense. Also, like, and like, I mean, the prophecy kind of works. It's okay. It's like it falls flat a little bit. Okay, a lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. And I think it's kind of a dumb because it's weird because like it's a prophecy, but they like kind of ignore it at the same time. It's weird because it's like if they ignore it, why even have it?
They know this kid is the chosen one they've been looking for generations. Yet they're like, we can't train him. He's too old. Why? What is wrong with you?
Because it's like it's dumb too because it's like, well, obviously, if he's the chosen, if the dark side, like, we know there's a Sith Lord. Like, we just saw him like 2 seconds ago. He was right there. So if they get him, we're screwed. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I mean, you don't really have a choice but to either take him in or kill him.
No, but Mace Windu said that they were not informed of a Sith Lord existing, so he doesn't.
I mean,
literal line from the movie. Mace Windu's like, we were not informed of a Jedi of a Sith's existence. We'll look into it. Like,
but wait, but was this after? I mean, but this is after Qui-Gon had the whole like mini duel, right?
Yeah.
So like,
yep. We were not informed that this guy carrying a red lightsaber exists, so we're just not going to believe you. Okay.
Who lies about that? Like,
we all saw it.
Like, I don't even understand. Like, I mean, I understand the Jedi are stupid and ignorant, but like that makes no sense. Like, even if it's like there's a chance the Sith showed up. I mean, if this if like, which totally happened, but even if like somehow Qui-Gon's wrong, like, even though I don't know how you can be wrong about that, but even though if somehow he's wrong, it's like, if this guy is even a chance of being the chosen one, if he goes to the wrong side, we're all done for, theoretically.
Yep.
So,
and they didn't even do a good job of keeping that of when they got him on their side.
I know, because like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I just kind of, yeah, I feel like it would have just made more, yeah, like, even if he was the chosen one, like, I feel like he could have just always been a Jedi. I don't think there was a reason for him to, like, oh, he's too old. Like, I
Mm,
kind of like the, like, slavery background because, like, it gives him more motivation to, like,
yeah, I don't
care
necessarily
about people
have
more than Jedi do, but
if you just laid out on paper Anakin's backstory, I wouldn't necessarily think that is bad. You know, he comes, you know, he grew up as a slave. His, you know, he went off to join the Jedi to try to save people like his mother and especially his mother. But then by the time he actually got the opportunity to do that, his mom had already died.
right.
And so then really all he had left was his Jedi training. But then even the Jedi masters who trained him kind of didn't seem to trust him with his power, and they seemed to limit him in every step, even though he knew his potential, therefore allowing him to be seduced by, you know, by the the
The Senate.
the Senate. Yeah, like on paper, what I just said sounds like a very decent roadmap for a trilogy.
Right?
Turns out none of the stuff in episode 1 and 2 matters at all, and even then half the stuff in episode 3 doesn't matter at all, because it's just, oh, I saw a vision that Padme might die, so I'm going to turn evil.
Yeah, that was
I'm going to turn
awful.
evil so that I can maybe save her. Like, oh,
Like, I kind of like, I know they're trying to make it like, oh, I lost my mom, but now I have the power to save anyone, so I can't let Padme die. Well, first of all, there's the Padme dying. I mean, that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of lazy.
really lazy.
Like,
You
I
already
don't
had
get it.
all of the
Like,
pieces set up within the movie, within episode 3 itself. All of the pieces set up to have Anakin be super jaded by the dark side and easily swayed. Sorry, super jaded by the Jedi Council, like easily swayed by the dark side. But instead, it's just like them not trusting him really isn't. He only cuts off Mace Windu's hand because Palpatine is saying, I can help you save your wife. That is the only reason in that moment I
yeah,
need him to help me,
which is a
not I don't
very,
like you. It was right there. He didn't betray Mace. He was helping Palpatine. There's a
yeah,
big difference.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And that kind of, that whole dynamic, because it doesn't make sense. Like, that's not a good, like, that's a weird reason. And also, the thing that I don't get is like, I understand, like, sometimes when you make bad decisions and you kind of can't go back.
Mm.
He was not at the point of no return, in my
No,
opinion.
the from his perspective, Palpatine was still weak. He could have still turned him in if he wanted to. Like,
He just forced lightning dude across the
theoretically, I
planet.
said theoretically, like he
I
was
mean,
not. Yes, he did betray Mace Windu, but he was not to the point where, like, okay, I'll just completely, like, he. If anything, he just led to the death of the guy who was specifically holding him back. So if he had been usurped the Chancellor, he could have potentially, like, I feel like he had other options. Is what I'm getting at. He didn't. He
that's
didn't
what
have to
I'm saying.
submit
It's
in that
like
moment.
he's like, well, I got nowhere to go. It's like, yeah, you
Yes, you
do.
do.
I mean, you have so many more options. First of all, I mean, granted, like, he didn't know this at the time, but it's like, I mean, you still have the rest of the Jedi. Like, they
Mhm.
still, like, Obi-Wan still, he doesn't know Order 66 is even a thing yet. So it's
Yeah,
like, you still have Obi-Wan and that. You still have your wife, who was the whole point of this in the first place.
yeah,
Like, you could just go away and not be a child murderer, and
yeah.
just live on some random
I
planet in the middle
know
of
he
nowhere.
wasn't technically canon, but like Ahsoka's still out there. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many other ways to go. Like, there is so, like, how did you go from, like, well, I granted stupidly, killed my, commanding officer, more or
yeah,
less. But at the same time, that doesn't mean, well, guess I'm gonna join the Nazis. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
like, there were so many, like, better ways you could have gone. You did not have to go change team on him. Like, there was no
Mm,
reason for it. And then when he does it, you don't believe him. And you're like,
nope.
why? That doesn't even, like, because even Obi-Wan's kind of just like, what are you doing? like, I don't know, because like that would have like if that was me, like at most part, just talking to this guy, I'm like, so because you went from serving like I want to be a Jedi Master
Mhm.
to literally murdering younglings in like an hour and a half. I mean, like, how does that happen? I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you have to go. A lot has to happen, which didn't, by the way. I mean,
Not to mention, like, they were doing you a kindness by putting you on the council at all. They didn't need to do that.
yeah, but I mean, and granted,
You were
I
still
think
a
it was. I
Padawan
think
at the time.
yeah, granted, I think it's, and I think it more in Clone Wars when when Obi-Wan explains it to Ahsoka, it's kind of more explained that they're not really doing it for him. They're doing it like to spy on the Chancellor, more or less.
Yeah.
Which I think Obi-Wan, I think Anakin kind of gets that. So it's like, you know how like when your parents are like, I'm doing this for you, but it's not really for you.
Yeah.
It's like for them, but it's technically giving you something.
Mhm.
So it's for you. It's like, you know, if your parents give you money, but like to get them something so they don't have to get it themselves, it's not like, oh, I'm giving you this. It's like, are you though? So I think that's kind of how he was like kind of bitter. So I get it, but it's also like they should have done that more. I feel like they didn't do that. They didn't. His reasons for not liking the Jedi were like, they can't help me say Padme.
I feel like whenever I see weirdos on Star Wars Twitter tweet, there's at least one tweet a week of like episode 3 is such a masterpiece, and then post the 3 best screenshots from the movie. It's always the opening shot above Coruscant,
which is
like them dueling on Mustafar, which is actually in motion, not a great fight. Something with Grievous, and then something with Palpatine. Like, it's always those 4 screenshots.
Which is dumb, because like Grievous isn't even like
You're right.
good. The only version of General Grievous that's even like remotely good is the 2003 Clone Wars thing. Everything else is like, Grievous looks like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. So it's not even
kind of
like
was, yeah. Like, I legitimately feel the movie that these people watched is not the movie we got. There is some other cut of this movie or other dimension they fell into where the like theories and ideas that we've given out so far actually happened in that movie, and we just can't see it.
I think it's just either nostalgia blindness or just.
But they say they watch it all the time. Like, how do you watch this movie today?
But it's like it's like if you watch the movie with the same like mindset of like when you were a kid, because it's like, yeah, like a lot of times like now when we see movies when we were kids, because like I remember like growing up, I really liked Batman and Robin when I was like 5 because it's Batman and Robin. It's
great.
And then bad, like, but it's great. Yeah, but now, you know, I'm a girl, you know, I'm in my 20s and I watched this movie and I'm like, how did I watch this? This is horrible. But again, when you're growing up, there's a lot of things that you don't know what's really that bad of a movie. It's hard for a 6-year-old to think this movie stinks.
Yes.
You know, if a 6-year-old thinks your movie is bad, your movie is bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for most 6-year-olds, any movie's pretty solid. So it's like, yeah. But at the same time, I think a lot of people aren't taking into consideration like what you know now, and also like other comparisons and like other Star Wars movies or just other movies in general during this time period. And you're like, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some, you know, like, lightsaber fights are always going to be cool. Like, they're always going to be cool. You know, like, granted, like why they're fighting isn't always the best.
No.
Or random CGI that makes things try to look cooler doesn't really make sense. But it's still cool. So I'll go with it.
Yes.
But yeah,
like,
I'm not.
There's a higher standard for a movie. Like these people on film Twitter, there's a higher standard for a movie where you can't call Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith a masterpiece.
No,
like, don't just throw that word out everywhere.
No. People, but that's like people be hyperbole on the internet is like everywhere. Everyone's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh, the best performance of anything. Oh, never before has the like every other thing is like the greatest thing ever. And it's like
even what I personally believe to be the 3 best Star Wars movies in no particular order, Return of the Jedi, Last Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, I wouldn't call any of those masterpieces. Even those.
You would call Empire a masterpiece?
No, it is still a dumb Star Wars movie.
Whoa!
Hey, just be by. Like, I'm not. Essentially, if you're a masterpiece, you're like high art. You're like Godfather. You're like, there is like real talent and like not talent. There's like a level of effort and prestige to the production, to just like
Okay.
the perception of this movie that like transcends art. Empire Strikes Back is at the top of Star Wars, but it's still a
Okay.
goofy kids
Okay.
franchise. You get me?
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, because again, there are like certain movies where it's like this isn't just a movie. This is like everything.
Yeah. Like
Movie
there is still a couple of things here and there, and even in Empire, that I'm like, if this movie were made today, either that would be cut or this stuff would be expanded on, or like there is stuff here and there that I think it's not like a perfect. It's pretty close. It's not perfect movie.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. All right.
But like trying to say that Revenge of the Sith is a masterpiece when I don't even consider Empire a masterpiece is insane.
No, it's not a masterpiece. It has moments that it has. The way I like to say it is, it's moments that remind me why I love Star Wars. The more moments are in the movie, usually the better I think the movie is.
Yes. Yes. It has a good dogfight at the beginning, or it goes to like space combat scene at the beginning. It has a couple of lightsaber fights that are visually engaging. If you like actually trying to analyze them, the blocking is kind of terrible, and a lot of it doesn't make sense.
They're not actual. I mean, like a lot of the lightsaber fights, they're not. I mean, they're basically dances.
Yes, which is fine, but I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's hard to look at because like
I really like the feeling of the Empire Strikes Back lightsaber fight. Just like the raw energy of them both just like exchanging blows just feels so good.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why even though there's not nearly as many like flips and behind the back and all this stuff, like it's nice, man, but it's like the saber fights in the original feel very like kind of realistic, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like not so much as like acrobatics, but as far as like it actually looks like he's trying to take his head off the whole time. Like especially in Return of the Jedi, like
yes,
they're out for blood. Like they're not just like holding their hand out to get chopped off.
Not once in episode 1 or 2, even 3, really. Not once did they ever aim for a part that wasn't the lightsaber. Like,
that's kind of
especially when it's like it's never I'm gonna block with the lightsaber. I'm going to put my lightsaber out for you to then hit my lightsaber with. It's just
because like even in like the like Duel of the Fates with Darth Maul, he's a lot of times he's aiming like higher than the guy's head, and it's like I get it, they kind of duck, but it's like that wasn't gonna hit his head even.
Or like Qui-Gon like waiting 3 seconds, now I attack, allowing Maul to actually like I know like doing it all in one take, but like I don't know, like you can do better than that.
I was like I don't remember where I heard this. I don't remember, but it's like when when you have a team, like when you have a team attack, if you wait for your opponent to react to the other person attacking, then you having more than one person is a bad thing, not a good thing.
Yes.
It's like you're making it harder on yourself to hit. Like you're like if you don't attack together, then there's no point of having two people fight at the same time.
Yeah. So what if he has a 2-blade lightsaber, he can still really only block one side of him at a time.
Right.
So
especially if like one especially if like one goes high or one goes low, like depending on like the angles you're at. It's like I feel like he has to keep his head on a swivel just to not get cut in half, so to speak.
And like a lot of fights, even in Clone Wars, kind of have a similar vibe because they know these characters need to, go through till the end, but like they still look more like how I feel they look. Clone Wars fights, generally speaking, I guess especially the Ahsoka versus Maul fight, was a very nice blend between the raw episode 5 and 6 fights and the dance, because like it was actually choreographed, like the actual Ray Park and like an actual person was there, but more often than not they were actually aiming to kill.
So. like body shots and like actually like needing to dodge. Like I hate unnecessary dodging in fights. It's like that was not gonna hit you. And like when it's not gonna hit them, they just kind of like barely move. Like I love that. Or even some of the other fights. Like I think of like when it's like Maul and Savage and like Obi-Wan when he has to fight on Han. Like that's a great fight because you know, like they're actually fighting. Like he's actually fighting. Like he does. Like he's like, okay, this is he injured leg. I'm gonna kick his leg like 4 times because he's
cut his arm off. Yeah.
Yeah, or like so, you know, like this actual fighting. Like if he didn't block that, his head would be on the floor right now. Like you know, and like or even like a lot. Most of the Maul Clone Wars fights, honestly, that I can think
Yeah.
of, are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like him and Pre Vizsla also are pretty good, and like. Yeah, but yeah, but it just kind of depends. It's like a lot of times fight scene, and this isn't just for Star Wars, this is for a lot of things. A lot of fight scenes being very much like dances versus like actually like it looks like they're fighting.
Yeah. And like to a kid, it doesn't matter. Like as a kid, I loved every lightsaber. Whenever every time a lightsaber was on screen, I loved it.
Yeah, you like grab your toy lightsaber and act it out yourself. Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
so I'm not gonna really complain because those movies, at least the first two, were aimed more so for kids. Because episode 3 is a PG-13 movie and really not a kids movie. Like has themes that are heavier than what kids should really be exposed to at that time. I'm a little more critical of it, I guess.
Fair enough.
Which in a way kind of makes me love it more because I have a more critical lens of it. So some aspects of it are even funnier to me. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. But yeah, it's just weird because it's like it's like people always have their favorites. They're like, oh, this is the best, or oh, this is the best thing since. And it's like, I mean, I hear you, buddy, but like, let's be reasonable.
Like I feel you have one of 3 options to say is the best Star Wars movie. You can say episode 3 is your favorite. I'm not going to deny you that.
Yeah.
Honestly, some days it's up there because of just how horribly funny it is. But like, if it legitimately tried to say it's the best movie, go away.
And I think that's what people have. I think a lot of people have, because of like the internet and opinion and stuff, a lot of people have made best and favorite the same thing, which is kind of bad just for society in general. Because
I agree. Yeah,
like like those words don't mean the same thing. Like my favorite food is not the best food ever made. You know what I mean? I love sushi. I know a lot of people don't like sushi.
I love
sushi. That's okay.
Yeah. Although I think I've only ever actually had like salmon sushi. I never had like crab or other sushi, but like salmon with cream cheese and
cream cheese and like, oh dude, yeah, it's. But you know what I mean? But like my best friend doesn't even eat fish, so like I get it. And that's fine. That doesn't mean they're wrong. Like, I mean, I think they should try it. But I mean, like, I'm not going to be like you can never experience the best food ever made. So sucks to be you. It's like, okay, like, if you think pizza or whatever is the best food, that's great. But now if someone out here says, like, I think, what's something no one likes? Oh my gosh, like something like liver is like the best food ever, then I'm gonna be like,
yeah, there are legitimately some people who like, they're not many, but there's some people who just eat livers. Like every single year, sans COVID year, my church puts on like a chicken tender supper, fundraiser thing for the community, and we have like a small pile of chicken livers just on the side because we know a couple of people like those. I'm like, why would you, the chicken that is made, it is fantastic. Why would you eat livers? Like Empire Strikes Back is right there. Why would you choose the prequels over it?
I mean, the way I see it is, if they eat that, then that means there's more of the food I want. But it doesn't translate. I mean, it doesn't translate with movies. But it's kind of like the same idea. It's like, I mean, that's fine, but don't go out here trying to tell me I'm wrong because I think that actual chicken tastes better than chicken livers. So, but I mean, but at the same time, that's just kind of how it is. Sometimes that's just. I don't know. I think we've lost kind of a agree to disagree mentality, which I feel like is very important for life.
Like that's where I am with The Last Jedi. Like if someone dislikes it, agree, disagree. I'm not going to waste my energy arguing with you unless you want to have that discussion. I'm not going to engage.
But no, but it's like, yeah, it's like no one can have like I feel like people can't like just sit down and talk and be like, oh, I understand your point. Okay, this is what I think, and like not trying to like win, just trying to like see their reasoning.
Yeah,
like, I feel like no one does that anymore.
Mhm.
Because it's like, I'm sure, like, and it's weird because it's like you can't. It's like people can't think differently. It's like why? Like I guess my thing is like, why do you care? Like if someone like again, if someone thinks like even if someone thinks episode 2 is their favorite Star Wars movie, I mean, I don't agree by any means. That's probably my least favorite Star Wars movie.
I would hear them out.
Yeah, but I mean at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you your favorite movie. Now, if you think that's the best movie, I'm gonna be like, well, I think your opinion on Star Wars is very flawed, but I'm not gonna sit here and like fight you until you change your opinion on why you're wrong. Because it's like you can just be wrong. That's okay. Like it's fine. But at the same time, I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where it's just kind of at. But it's like, yeah, on the internet, half the time people on the internet are just looking for a fight. Like, someone will say something on the internet on purpose just to like get people to, reply to them or whatever.
And that's the case for like literally any topic, whether it be
I'm not just talking about Star Wars, believe me.
Movies, politics, sports, anything.
Sports, oh my god.
Say random crap just to
like,
and then they say in the thread somewhere, oh, I'm just joking, guys, and it clearly wasn't. Like if this joke had gone well for you, then you wouldn't have been saying it was a joke anyway.
And the worst thing is a lot of times they'll do that and then later they'll like go back on what they said completely. Just to like more people will be like, wait, you said this, but at the end of the day, oh, I got this many retweets, I got this many, notifications. So it's like, it's like you're just a lot of people are professional trolls, more or less. So it's just look it out for that. But yeah, it's a wild world out there. That's social media is not always the answer. I get it.
Yeah. So like. Yeah, if Revenge of the Sith is somehow your favorite Star Wars movie, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know why. I'm not gonna like judge you. I just really want to know legitimately why. I will hear you out.
Yeah. There is at least one moment in every Star Wars movie that I think people can agree on is like, that's awesome. I will say that. Wait.
Which one in episode 1 could possibly be that?
Oh, the Duel of the Fates scene is still cool. I mean, like, that was the first double lightsaber. That's still cool. Like, you can't be like
like when Duel of the Fates kicks in and he activates the lightsaber.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be like, that's not cool. Like, even if you don't like it, like, that's still cool. Like, the context, what's going on, how we got there. Yeah, it's kind of lame. But the actual, like, at the time, I freaked out. Like, I was like, oh, it's okay. And like, okay, now I got to think of episode 2 though. This is what I knew I was going to run into this problem.
Let's do this.
I mean,
when clone, like when Mace Windu shows up, and
that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, that's the only moment that I kind of get interested in because the rest of the movie is pretty bad. Because like,
then I don't know. Like I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, you could point out reason. Oh, seismic charge. Boom.
Yes.
Yep. Yes. There it is. That's all you need.
Unequivocally, there is no objection.
You can't hate the. If you hate the seismic charge, you don't like Star Wars.
I was waiting for the entire time Boba was on the screen in Mandalorian season 2. Like it had a seismic charge has to be released at some point during Mandalorian. It did. So it's great.
And it was perfect as always. That's what I mean. It's like, episode 3. You can flight right at the beginning.
Like the opening shot.
Yeah, opening shot is because I love it because it's still the traditional, pan in on some giant ship over some planet or some moon or something. But then we're going right to business and they flip over and just chaos is going. Like, I love that.
I think it kind of goes downhill immediately once people start talking.
It does. But that's okay because the opening shot, that music's really good, and like I love how that music comes back with like season 7 of Clone Wars, where it's like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing this, and that's so like, oh, dude, I about peed myself the first time. That was I shouldn't have said that, but
that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, like every.
Yeah, we can skip 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
Like,
all right.
the entire trilogy is iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like every Darth Vader scene.
Yeah. Episode 7 like has like I think the fight in the woods between Rey and Kylo, and even a little before that with Kylo and Finn, is like actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. I like the even though I know some people don't like this, but I kind of do like the lightsaber one where it like goes past his hand and she catches it. I think that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it should have ended in a draw as opposed to Rey actually winning that fight, therefore lowering the stakes for future.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
anyway.
Yeah, I mean the rest of the fight I'm not a huge fan of, but like that one moment I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
also really do like
that's not how the Force works.
Yes, that is a good line.
Funny to me.
Yes.
Because I was thinking it, and then he said it, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah, like the opening dogfight in episode 8, I think was fantastic.
It was funny.
I think the Holdo maneuver, beautiful. Just yeah, I think people obviously I think people don't give that movie enough credit.
I think people over criticize. I think people were just mad at it when it happened, and then just never went back to appreciate the good stuff. That's what I think. Because granted, like there's some holes. I ain't gonna lie, but there's a lot of Star Wars movies with some holes in it. You know,
essentially the Canto Bight stuff. If that were during an episode of Clone Wars, it would fit right in. So like, I'm not saying it's not Star Warsy.
Yeah, no, I mean it fits Star Wars. It's just I think people just didn't like it because it kind of was just away from everything going on.
Yeah,
and I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Like at the same time, I don't. The plan thing is the thing that bothered me the most. Like the not having a plan or not telling people the plan.
Yeah,
it's like
if there is a reason why, I just wish it was explained a little better in the
movie. Like they should have at least like you can't do that and not like. You know, because like if that's because it was kind of doing the whole Last Jedi thing, or not like or Rise of Skywalker thing, where it was like, oh well, you know, if you think about it, like the movie, you doing the thinking for the movie, it's like that's like you can't be like, oh, you have to assume that. Like that's one thing when it's like something's unspoken. That's another thing when you make an idea up and then assume that's what they thought in the movie. It's like it kind of does. I think that's giving the movie too much credit.
Yeah,
but. Yeah.
So like I personally feel like there are several moments from Last Jedi that people just need to get over themselves about. But that's whatever. Like again, agree, disagree. I am not at the point in my life I am not willing to engage heavily unless the other person is willing to have a good faith argument over it. I'm not going to do it.
No, there's no reason to. Like throne room scene, still really good. There's a lot of scenes that are really good.
There is just to be fair, there is some blocking in the throne room scene that could have been better.
Oh yeah,
like with the Maul's fight, like it could be better.
Better than Knights of Ren.
That all that being said,
did not do anything.
I have been this entire time, like as soon as we started doing this, by the time I got finished up with 2, I'm like, crap, I need to think of one episode 9. Why did I do this?
Oh no, I got you.
Huh? Babu Freak. Babu Freak is fantastic.
Yeah, that too. No, I mean, granted, I don't like. Yeah, there's a couple things. Like, granted, I don't think it makes any sense with the whole like Force pass somehow, whatever, with the lightsaber. Granted, it looks cool.
Yes,
it did look cool. Like, I don't think I don't think that deserves it because there was not earned at all. It was totally pulled out of your butt.
It was like technically foreshadowed in episode 8 when like the
helmet thing.
No, when that was episode 9 actually. When Rey and Kylo Ren are talking and like some water splashes on Ben.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
So it was kind of
okay, but still. I mean, the fact that they both knew that's my thing. It's like you can't act like we were in on this and like we both got like there's no way you would have both got that without ever talking about it.
Oh, you're right.
Like, I don't care. I mean, you could be like, oh, we fell to the Force. You felt a lightsaber handoff behind your head so no one could see it on cue exactly at the right time.
But it looked cool.
All to the Force.
So it looked cool, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, it looked great. I think it looks cool. I love the shrug after it too. I thought that because it was also kind of like because they were also kind of like, oh, I call hacks, and he's like, it'd be like that sometimes. You know, it was kind of like, you know. But again, like that's one of those moments where it's like, all right, I'll take that. But yeah, it's still stupid how it happened.
There are very, very few other moments for that movie that
okay, what else? did I?
Even though like the scene where like all of those other ships showed up and the Star Wars theme kicked in. It lost a impact because the Star Wars theme kicked in every 5 minutes in that
It
trilogy.
did.
So like, why should I care right
Really
now?
old.
Two, why did it take Lando going planet to planet to light the spark when that should have been what Luke had done at the end of Episode 8?
This is very true.
Like, it's almost as if JJ wanted to pretend that movie didn't happen. And three, as soon as they showed up, Palpatine just nerfed them all anyway. So like, they didn't even matter. So yeah, it didn't. And also, not to mention the Endgame came out like 6 months prior, so like it already happened.
That was my thing. Like I knew, because I was like, oh, they're trying to make this epic, and it's not gonna work. Because
also, it was kind of spoiled in the trailer, so
it is.
Yeah. So,
can you imagine if the portal scene was in the Endgame trailer?
Well, it's one that happened before the movie actually came out. Yep.
I mean, as soon as the movie, statistically, everyone already saw it within the first weekend, so they already knew it. So you already knew what was up. But I mean, like before, like the first trailer that came out, like remember we didn't even know the name. Can you imagine if it was during that? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I can think of very, very, very few scenes out of Episode 9 that are worthwhile.
No, it was like that one.
There's some people that say that's their favorite one. I'm just like, how?
Are you human? What is it? I just don't like it because it doesn't feel earned at all. Like if that was gonna happen, it should happen in the last movie. First of all. Second of all, I don't think it should have happened, period.
Yep.
Third of all, it didn't really matter because like he had a bazillion Star Destroyers, which apparently can destroy planets, which I'm like,
I'm over it. I don't care anymore.
Which I'm like, first of all, I'm like, that was way too overkill. Like that was ridiculous.
Yes.
Also, he used Force Lightning, just a fleet of ships, which no, I don't care who you are. That's not okay. Because
you did not have that power before. It did not happen.
No, that is never. You're never even close. Like if you could have done that, you don't need a Death Star. First of all, that's alone. You can just blow up a fleet of ships with your fingers. Then forget it. Second of all, I mean, not even Palpatine. I don't even care. Like we're past that. It's horrible. But
you want to know? I know we were trying to say positive stuff at every movie. I need to get this out there. My absolute 100% least favorite thing from that movie, which is saying something. And like I get like whiffs of badness from that movie like every now and again. Just thinking about random crap is just an image from this movie comes in my head. I'm like, oh, that happened. Anyway, the number one thing that annoys me more than anything else from that movie is the fact that after everything was said and done, Chewie still got his medal. You had to make it a point to give Chewie the medal he should have gotten in Episode 4. It's like Chewie has known Leia for 35 years, and apparently Leia only thought to give it to him as his. She put that in her will. Like what? Why? And also, what did Chewie do in this movie that would have made him earn it more so than previous movies?
Fake dying to motivate the main characters, which was horrible, by the way.
He not that he doesn't deserve it. He probably should have got one in the first place. But like that was
how do you not get one after? Like, I get it after the first Death Star, but how do you not get one after 2 Death Stars?
Yeah.
Like, what else do you have to do?
Like,
I mean, he was there. Like,
that's been like a meme in the Star Wars community for 30 years, and all of a sudden there's like, oh yeah, we should, because we're wrapping up the entire trilogy, we should, I guess, retcon the original trilogy to be like, oh yeah, Leia and Chewie essentially didn't talk at all, because otherwise this would have come up before now. Like if it was so important for her to put it in her will to give it to Chewie, they would have talked about it by now. But nope,
I don't understand that at all. I forgot about that.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like there's so much happening in this movie, and you found the time to give Chewie his meme medal. I can't.
So many moments I hate. Like the yell, lightsaber.
If Rise of Skywalker is your favorite movie, please let me
Who
know.
are these
Please tell me how. I don't even want to know why. Tell me how. Just tell me tell me some things you like about it. Tell me reasons why we're wrong for disliking it. Please, I want to have this discussion.
It's like there's so many. Like there's the Rey Skywalker thing that's so pointless. There's the yellow lightsaber that didn't even need to be in the movie. Why would you even have it?
It
If you're
should have
not
been in
even
the
gonna use
movie
it?
way earlier.
Yes, like if she just had, I would have liked it if she just had one.
Yeah.
Start out.
And then,
Didn't
like,
even have to explain. Just have one. That
and
would
then
have been
after,
better.
like Leia, like sure, like she can still die, but be like die holding the Skywalker lightsaber, and then and then someone was like, Leia would want you to have this, and it's like the reforged lightsaber, and then she goes in the battle. Like you can still essentially do what you did in the climax, just with her having a yellow lightsaber and him having Luke's lightsaber, or I guess Anakin technically, but like don't have her start the movie with just as if the last movie didn't happen. Like the lightsaber broke. You can't just have it, oh, it's fixed now. Like that needs to be a moment for it to be like, this is a big deal that it's back in the movie now, but whatever.
Yeah, it kind of just because it just makes the like first of all, it makes breaking it pointless in the 1st place, and also it's just kind of like it's kind of a. I mean, this was a big deal. I mean, that was a big deal about even in the first movie that lightsaber was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big deal for pretty much the whole series, and then it's just like, okay, it broke. Okay, it's fixed.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
If she had had a preferably double-bladed yellow lightsaber from the beginning, that would have been pretty neat.
Cool. Yeah, she should have. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. They just didn't give her like, because again, she had a staff. Now she has a double lightsaber. I mean,
Makes
if
sense to
not
me.
just for fan service because it's cool.
Mhm.
I mean, you would sell more Rey toys. I'm sure that would happen. Like
Yeah.
double blade lightsabers are always cooler. Like they just look cooler. But at the same time, it's like there's no reason not to. Plus, maybe she may have needed it for an advantage against Kylo or something. Even though that lightsaber design,
You literally don't need a reason. Just let her have
no,
it.
you don't need a reason. But like, even if you didn't, like, just give an extra one. I don't know. There's so much about that.
Man, so like, yeah, like you can have a favorite Star Wars movie that's different than ours. I'm not gonna like criticize you or whatever, but like I need to know if Rise of Skywalker is your favorite. I need answers for that. Episode 3, I feel there are legitimate things to enjoy that with, whether it be ironically or otherwise. But like episode 9, I personally find no enjoyment out of watching it, even ironically. So like I need more than just it's my favorite. I need you to explain that to me.
It's like, I don't know. It's just I'm just glad we have other Star Wars than just the movies because most of it's good.
most Star Wars is good. Yeah.
Most of it's good. It's like I feel like because if it was just we were just talking about the movies, I feel like it'd be kind of like a hit or miss kind of.
Yeah.
Star Wars because there's a couple movies you're like, oh yeah, and then there's some movies you're like, and then some movies you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh my gosh, like Star Wars kind of, but then you had like, oh, Clone Wars, okay. Oh, Mandalorian, oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah, okay. So then Star Wars kind of, gets back on its feet as like a primarily solid thing. Like, people are gonna love it regardless, but it's like, when you have a lot of like, poor things coming out late, but now everything's coming out. It's been pretty much great.
Yeah.
It's not really good. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I think that was all the topics I had to discuss. Anything else you want to bring up or talk about?
Long Halloween Batman movie coming out tomorrow. Go watch it.
I don't know if it's coming on HBO Max then, but like I'm sure it will come to HBO.
I don't know. It should. I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean, would they release it on DVD but not HBO Max?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no. Because I mean, it's not like it's coming to theater. So like.
Yeah, but I mean, they still want to get paid for. I don't know.
But
I don't know how they. I don't know. I mean, then again, they had movies on streaming and theaters at the same time, and then took it off and then put Kong back on. Whatever.
If you don't know this original story, check it out. It is one of, if not the best Batman story.
Yeah.
Depending. So do that, get educated, and then when this movie throws a curveball in, because they probably will, you'll be able to be like, hey, that's not how they did that, but I still like it.
Yeah. That's
So
usually how these things go. Like Dark Knight Returns, honestly, very not different. Like it's
oh, yeah,
very,
it's like,
very different from the comic, but like the major beats are at least
yeah,
similar
no, it's
enough. Or
pretty
like,
much bar for bar.
yeah,
I mean, even the lines they say are pretty much.
yeah,
But yeah,
uh,
yeah, there are some changes here and there, but they're not like bad changes. It's just kind of
yeah. Killing Joke is kind of bad though.
yeah. Well, Killing Joke isn't even like in the Killing Joke. It's just kind of made up, which
Yeah,
is
it's
like
the
the
like
first like half hour is just kind of like
I feel that
Bruce
there are.
Timm like, hey, let's do some Batgirl stuff that didn't need to
Mm,
be in this, because I feel like he was trying to build it up that you had to like care about Batgirl before she got paralyzed. But I'm like, I feel like if you're watching this movie, you already kind of care
yeah,
about Barbara Gordon.
like we didn't need all of that. We like
There was
her
a
enough
lot.
as Barbara.
Like her talking to her friend at the library and all this stuff. Like there was a lot going on there. It was like, dude, we are like gutting into her life. Like all we need, like she's Batgirl. That's all the investment we really need in her. Like there was this
Mm-hmm.
whole subplot with her and this villain that at the time I'd never heard of. Still don't really know anything about him,
No,
but like
no idea.
and all this stuff. And I'm just like, are we really doing all this? Because you know she's gonna get shot. I'm like, are we really doing all this just for her to not be in the rest of the movie?
Yep.
Probably. And guess what? She wasn't.
Mhm.
Like after
Yeah.
she got
So
shot, she was pretty much it. But
yeah, outside of
then the
Killing
movie
Joke,
started.
generally speaking, the animated adaptations are very solid. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Long
Sorry for
Halloween,
rambling on that.
Long Halloween, especially with this new art style, I think is pretty like pretty ideal. So yeah, anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay, so with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, guys.